Okay, so we have our beautiful magazine here. Now, we would love to know how many of you guys nabbed a copy of this one? Who's got their copy? Yeah, excellent, Lizzie. Karen, amazing. We've all got ours here as well. Sally, you've got yours. Beautiful. So are you guys cooking from this yet? How are you finding it? Yep. Excellent. And of course, there's some recipes on Cookidoo, but not all of them. They will be going on Cookidoo over time, but we want to make sure we've got sort of all of the production and copies sold. So we did sell out in the first week. It was very popular. We have an amazing community with Thermomix through our consultants and also obviously through you guys, our amazing customers who we absolutely enjoy spending time with, which is why we love doing these classes for you. So tonight is our magazine edition. What we will do is cook 4 dishes. Now, we did say we were going to cook the herb and garlic pull apart. We thought we would do that as a cook along with you guys. So watch this space. We'll send you out the details for that and you can cook that with us. It's a pretty fun dish to do. We're also going to do a little bit of Cookidoo. So if you want to stick around and learn how to do some meal planning, we can do that. And then at the end, I'm very happy to talk through a little bit of the business information as well, what it is to be a consultant. If you don't yet have a Thermomix, how you could earn one and that sort of thing, or how you can come along and be a part of this beautiful team of women we have on the screen here. We do have some men, but not many. And so if you are a man, we would love you to join us as well. So my name's Claire. I started Thermomix about 11 years ago, and I came on board to earn myself a Thermomix. Obviously, I fell in love with not just the product, but the business. And so I decided to turn it into my full-time career. Not everyone turns it into their full-time career, but a lot of our consultants do it as a passion, part-time or full-time, and it's got that flexible income. So looking forward to sharing with you guys tonight. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat. We'll be able to answer those. And yeah, let's make this your session. So who have we got up first? Just getting everyone on their spotlight.
I'm up first. I'm so sorry. We're having technology issues in my little kitchen here. So I am doing, can you hear me?
We can hear you, you're great.
Okay, wonderful. My name's Victoria. I've been a consultant for a long time, over 10 years now. And tonight I'm going to show you the Persian honeycomb bark, which is a beautiful new recipe that's come out. It is on Cookidoo already, but it's a beautiful recipe that's great for festive entertaining. So I don't know if any of you guys have done the sugar stages yet on the TM6, but honeycomb is a really fun, easy, exciting dish to do. So what we're going to do is we're adding in 250 grams of white sugar. So that's in. I am doing 20 grams of honey. This is a honey that was given to me by one of my neighbours, so it's beautiful. And 80 grams of water. So that's going in. And I am now, without the measuring cup, I am going to start the sugar stages mode. This is the only mode where it is very strict on what you put into the Thermomix. So you can't try and do 500 grams of sugar. It's regulated for safety reasons. You don't want to be overloading your Thermomix and then people having issues with, overflowing molten sugar. So you have to make sure that you have got the correct amount in the Thermomix for it to work. The Thermomix will tell you if it doesn't believe you've done that. So just be aware of that. All right, Claire, back to you. Is there anything else you wanted me to, while this is doing its thing?
We'll be coming back to you. So who have we got up next?
I think it's me with our Laksa paste.
Beautiful.
Hey everybody, Beck McAllister. I'm a consultant in the New South Wales Southern Highlands, just south of Sydney. And I have probably got the quickest and easiest recipe to share with you today from the magazine, page 116. So this is the first step of the quick prawn laksa. So there are other laksa recipes already on Cookidoo, but this one I really like because it's literally 7 ingredients. It all goes in the bowl and gets blended up together. There's some tips on the spiciness. So you can use between 2 and 6 red chilies for this. And this is actually a recipe from ThermoFit with Noni. So Noni is one of our consultants, but she's also a personal trainer. So some of the recipes in the magazine are her recipes, which I love. It's one of the nice things about being a consultant is being able to contribute at that sort of higher level when we all come into the business with different skills. Noni was a personal trainer and a recipe developer, and they've embraced that and helped to share that skill with the rest of us, which I love. Okay, now the one thing I haven't done yet, because I wanted to just sort of show you, and I will just note all my ingredients, most of these ingredients for the curry paste have been frozen. So I grow my own chilies. So when I have heaps of them, I literally stick them whole in the freezer. And they're perfect. Like obviously you're not going to put them in a salad because they come out a bit soft. But for this sort of thing, absolutely perfect. I've also got lemongrass, which again was frozen because you can't always find it when you need it. So I like to have a little stash of it in the freezer. And I'm just going to take off the outside layer because that's the bit that can be a bit stringy when you go to chop it up in your Thermomix. So I'll just quickly whiz those off.
So Becky, you know how it always says use the white part of the lemongrass?
Yeah.
Is that sort of the parts where you peel off all the layers?
Yeah, so this is the white part, obviously, like leeks and things. The white part is the bottom section, and then the top part's quite green and leafy. And the outside layer and those leaves are the bits that get a bit woody. So good to take those off. I'm just chopping that into 3 pieces. That just helps the Thermomix do its job a little more efficiently. Now, the other thing I'll do is just take the stalks off the chilies. I'm leaving the seeds in mine. You can take the seeds out if you want to reduce the heat because that's where most of the heat is. So I've got 3 red chilies and I have sort of roughly pre-weighed this stuff, guys, so I didn't have to muck around with the scales today. The other thing that I'm putting in is some kaffir lime leaves. So these are in lots of Asian dishes, particularly Thai recipes. And again, those leaves can be frozen. So I have a tree that when it's got loads and loads of leaves, I pick a few off, pop them in the freezer, and they're good to go. Then I've got 12 cloves of garlic, lots of garlic. I've got some ginger here. This is how much ginger? Roughly 30 grams. And again, with ginger, take off the skin if it's... So ginger you can usually buy 2 ways. It's either cured or fresh. So cured is when the skin's a little bit harder, a little bit tougher, a bit brown and dried out. Take that off either with a knife or the back of a teaspoon. You sort of just run it around and take off the skin. And then I like to cut mine into coins. Again, helps the Thermomix do its job a little more efficiently, but also I freeze it. The recipe for this also says to use dried, like powdered turmeric. I had some fresh, and so I actually used Google to work out the equivalent. So a teaspoon of dried turmeric was about a tablespoon of the fresh stuff. So that's what I'm using today. And then the last thing is 60 grams of raw cashew nuts. So those are all going in. We're literally going to blend this for 7 seconds on speed 7, give it a little scrape and then blend again. So bear with me. Zoom tends to cut out the noise when the Thermomix is a little bit loud.
While Beck can't talk for a second, a little interesting fact for you. There's a bit of a push worldwide to rename kaffir lime leaves to their botanical name, which is macrut leaves.
Yeah.
And you will actually notice now in some recipes on Cookidoo, and I think even in the magazine, that they are actually being referred to as the macrut leaves. So if you notice that and wonder what they are, one and the same.
Yeah. And I actually did need to do a little double take when I saw the recipe. And
I did too.
all right, little scrape down. One more blend, and then I'll show you what we've got. You can actually hear when you're making pastes and things with your Thermomix, when all the food has flicked to the sides, you can hear that the blade's not actually coming in contact anymore. And that's totally fine. If it's not quite the consistency you need, give it another scrape and go again. But there we go. So there's our paste. I'm going to transfer that into my jar. You can keep this paste in the fridge for 3 days. I would recommend putting a tiny little layer of oil on top just to keep it fresh, so the ginger and garlic and everything stays fresh. But otherwise you can put it in the freezer. So work out the quantity roughly that you're going to need for your laksa. And I'm just looking here on the recipe. It says, oh, where is it? I've got my glasses on. I still can't see. 110 grams. So you can freeze it in little portions of 110 grams. So you've got it ready to go. But there we go. So that's our paste. I'm using the lid of the Thermomix. Using that lid as a funnel, just to make sure that none is going on my bench, which it actually just nearly did. You get the gist. One last thing that I was asked to mention, and I'll come back to that, is our TM5 trade-up offer. Now, I don't know, I haven't seen everybody's details who's here today. By all means, show of hands in the chat if you have a TM5 Thermomix or an earlier one, even a TM31. At the moment, we've got a really lovely offer running to help you trade up to the newest technology. I could make a very long list of all the things I love about the TM6, and I've had all of them. I had the 31, the 5, the 6. At the moment, the deal is if you want a TM6, you can hand back your TM5, and it doesn't matter if it's working or not working. And you will get $300 discount off the price of the TM6, plus a second bowl, blade, and lid set worth $395. So it's actually a really, really high value offer, $695 altogether. And if you want some more details about that, by all means, ask a question here in the chat or get in touch with your consultant and they can talk you through it. And that's me done. I'm just going to go and sniff my beautiful curry paste now. I'm not sure who is coming up next though. Megan, is it you? No, Gnomes?
For you, Naomi.
It's me. I didn't know if Victoria was ready with her sugar stages, so I was just going to check in with her, but I can quickly show you mine. Nope, she's all good. No worries. Hello, my name's Naomi. I'm just going to pick that up a little bit. I'm a consultant and I'm based in the Illawarra. This is the second time round that I've been a consultant. So I think altogether roughly over 6 years now. Started and earned my first Thermomix, my TM31, and then I came back and earned my 6. And to be honest, I just came back just to earn my machine and go. And here I am over 3 years later. So I'm still having fun. And I guess for me, it's all about the community. We do so many fun things together that I just love it. It's family. So yeah, so we would love anyone to come and be part of the team. We learn so much as well. I've learned heaps coming back the second time round, and yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. I've been cooking with the Thermomix for over 11 years, so I wouldn't know what to do without it. And as you can see, I've got 2 on the bench. I've got a black and a white. Earned them both. So you definitely get awesome perks along the way. I also recently earned the brand new cordless vacuum cleaner, which is available as well. So that's probably my newest favourite accessory. But I'm here today to cook the French onion dip. It's in the magazine. It's also on Cookidoo now, which is awesome. I have pre-done a step in here. So if we start cooking, it says to do olive oil and then 300 grams of brown onions cut into wedges. Now, first I'm going to touch base on the olive oil. So I'm a person who loves savings. I love even more savings. Actually, I was showing the Thermomix to an OT yesterday and I kept dropping my extra savings tips to him that I think I've convinced him to buy a Thermomix as well. Buy in bulk. So this is just like a simple Tupperware oil canister. It's cheaper to buy your oil in bulk than it is just to keep buying bottle and bottle and bottle over again. So store the big one in your pantry and just top up as you need it. It's a great tip. Onions, like I said, in wedges, because the next step that I did is I did the high heat function, and that's where you use your what's it called, ladies? Having a mental blank. Splash guard. It's right there on the screen, and it locks down perfectly. Now, the importance of using the splash guard is so that air can still get around it and it's not going to splash out and potentially get you. So this is great. And the reason why we're doing it in wedges, because we don't want it to burn with the high heat that it's cooking. Now, I love looking up the different recipes in Cookidoo regarding the high heat. More often than not, I just do the caramelized onions or the mushrooms and put them in a jar in my fridge to add them to salads, pizzas, you name it. So have a look at the high heat recipes. It's not a standalone mode. Have a look at the recipes on Cookidoo, because there's some really delicious ones there you can make. So I've already cooked the onions. So pre-done that, because you got to let it cool down for half an hour. So I've popped a tablespoon aside, and as you can see here, my delicious onions are all ready to go in the bowl. All right, so now we're just going to do the next step. So we've got 150 grams of cream cheese. So I've already pre-weighed all these little items. 100 grams of sour cream. Now, these are like staples that I keep in the fridge anyway. So if I've got someone unexpectedly pop over, or, you know, we've had a massive lunch and we just want to have a small platter dinner, this is like the perfect little dip to go with some fruit and veggies and some crackers. So now we've got half a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. And that's just, I've just pre-weighed them out in this little dish here. And I'm just going to tip them all over here. And then, see, I told you, you would appear out of nowhere, didn't I? That is my littlest Xander. He has popped out of nowhere because he always wants to be on attention, on the spotlight. Yeah, say hello. So now we've got 1.5 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to pop that in as well.
What are you making?
I'm making dip. And then we put the measuring cup in the lid, and we're going to turn around to speed 5 on for 10 seconds. There we go. It's that easy. So simple, easy, delicious dip. Look at that. I can see one little piece of rogue onion in there, but that's okay, because what I took that tablespoon of onion out, and I'm just going to pop. Wait a minute. I'm just going to pop the little onion just on top. So you can tell Xander doesn't like sauteed onion, but I certainly do. So there is my delicious onion dip. French onion dip, I should say. Yum. So this will be great even to put on a bit of a sandwich filler, or, you know, with a bit of ham and some fresh lettuce on a sandwich as well. But I will go over to the next person. So who is next?
Victoria, where are you up to? How much longer do you have? You can give us fingers. She's got to go around the back.
Claire, I've got 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay, cool. I'll keep an eye on the time.
Sounds like a challenge for me to make this cocktail really, really quickly. So I am making one of our new cocktails, which are on page 73 of the magazine. We are making the Sgroppino, which is an Italian cocktail. It's basically Prosecco, vodka, and lemon sorbet. But obviously with the Thermomix, we can kind of make that sorbet all in one go. So it's a nice, quick and easy one. Now it does make 6, seeing as it's 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. It might be a few too many cocktails for me to get through on my own tonight. So I'm going to have this and see how we go. It's not on Cookidoo yet, so I am following the recipe from the magazine. So first of all, we add in our sugar and we mill that down. We know that when we mill our sugar, we're making icing sugar. I'm just going to put that on speed 10 for 10 seconds.
We know how much Megan loves manual cooking.
Hopefully you all remember that little trick from probably one of your first demos that you ever went to. And we all go, wow, icing sugar. Great way to save money. Icing sugar is $3.50 a kilo and white sugar is $1 a kilo. So that's a huge saving when you can make it in 10 seconds. We're going to pop in our butterfly whisk. All right. Hopefully everyone knows where to put their butterfly whisk these days. If you have a look inside your Thermomix at the blades, only one of them really points up. So if that one is at 12 o'clock, your butterfly sits just behind that one at sort of 5 to 12. And that way it'll always be in the right place. It won't jump out on you. We're going to add in our egg white and put that on for 1 minute and 20 seconds on 65 degrees speed 4. Now 65 degrees is the temperature that will pasteurize that egg white. So it's no longer raw egg, but it hasn't been cooked either. So it's nice and safe for everyone to eat. If you're immune compromised, pregnant, those sorts of things, it's no longer considered raw. Vic, I don't know whether that's enough time for you to jump in while this does its thing.
No, my timer says she's still got 4 minutes, but that is okay. Victoria?
I can chat at this time, Claire. So just bear with me. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be clever, but it's not working.
All right.
So part of this recipe as well with the Persian honeycomb bark is to get slivered almonds, slivered pistachios, shelled ones. Can you see? Oh, I'm gonna show you down here. Saffron threads, cardamom, ground cardamom, and ghee. And you actually you just sort of toast this on a flame. And it becomes beautiful and toasty and so fragrant. For me, it's really nostalgic. I actually grew up eating a lot of Middle Eastern food. So the smell of it is quite incredible. Saffron threads you can buy from, I got this Beck from Essential Ingredient, as you'd know. But you can go to delis. You can often find them in supermarkets now. Saffron threads are incredibly expensive. They are the stamen of a lotus flower. They have a beautiful perfume and an amazing color. So you can use them in lots of dishes. They color rice and perfume rice if you ever do a saffron rice. I'll just show you. Can you see in there?
Can I just jump in, Vic, for 1 second and quickly share? Because I know we all know that saffron adds colour, but it also significantly changes the flavour of dishes as well. We were fortunate enough, there was a group of us did a saffron tasting class with Danny Valent. She's one of our lovely Thermomix chefy friends. And it was really fascinating to see how adding a small amount of saffron to different things, like all sorts of different things, really changed the flavour profile. So, yeah, there you go.
I absolutely agree. As I was frying my nuts on the stove earlier, the perfume that came up was just absolutely incredible. Now, also it asks for this recipe to have rose petals. They're optional, but they make it look so beautiful. So I bought them as well. So I'm going to sprinkle them once I'm done. Once we hit so I've got 1 minute and 27 seconds left. Once this sugar stage stops, I'm going to add in bicarbonate of soda. So I've got 1 teaspoon there for 250 grams of white sugar. Any more, it becomes bitter. Any less, you don't get the fizz that you need to aerate the honeycomb. So you need to be pretty careful about how much you weight, so how much you measure in. You also need to actually sieve it very, very finely because you don't want any lumps either. So I've sieved this, I've got this aside. With this recipe, I'm going to be adding in half of my nut mixture into the actual honeycomb. The other side I'm holding aside that I'm going to sprinkle on top with the rose petals. But you're going to see me very shortly. As soon as it dings in 33 seconds, I'm going to pour in the bicarbonate of soda, the baking soda, and stir really, really quickly to incorporate it. You get that beautiful chemical reaction where it all aerates. And then I'm going to pour it out onto my baking mat. I've got one of the lovely rose gold baking trays and the oven mat from Thermomix. So that just saves me using baking paper. And for this recipe, I want a nice thin bath. All right, so we are ready to go. So I have a beautiful caramel there. I don't know if you can all see that. And I am going to shake in the bicarb around the blades. You don't want to get it on top of the blades because you want it all to go in. You can probably all see that now. It's changing very quickly. I'm going to add in my nuts and stir that in without over mixing. So I just want to incorporate it. And now I am going to bring it out onto the silicone mat. And it hardens so quickly. So you need to move quickly. You also don't want to get too much around the rim of the Thermomix, because once that hardens, you'll have to get the lid back on to clean it. So here I go. I think I've got the majority. And I'm just going to spread that out gently. Again, very gently. I want this nice and thin. So it's going to be a bark that I can break up. But I don't want to knock all of the air out here. So I'm pretty happy with that. I have vinegar sitting by, so I'm going to do a vinegar bath in a minute to dissolve that. I'm going to pop my nuts on top. And some rose petals. So once that dries, I can break it up into shards, and that's beautiful. You can pop it on desserts. So like you can stick it in a mousse or some ice cream. You can gift it in cellophane to people during the festive period. But there you go, that is the honeycomb mousse.
Looks amazing.
It smells amazing. Oh my God.
You're only like 15 minutes away, aren't you, Vic?
Yeah, come round.
All right, well, while Vic did that, my egg whites continued to cook. I stopped it and stirred it to make sure that it was all incorporated and put it back on for another 40 seconds. Now I'm just going to add some lemon, so flesh only, no pith and the pips removed. And we blitz that for 10 seconds on speed 7. And now I'm just going to add my ice, and we mix that for 1 minute on speed 9. So while I do that, we might be able to go back to Vic. Someone's asked Vic how the vinegar bath works. So you might want to explain that while my ice is making a lot of noise.
And I'm sorry, Victoria, I muted you while you were bumping in the sink.
All right, unmuted. I'm so sorry. This is a new setup, and it's not seamless. So what I'm what you should do, but I did it too slowly, I'm afraid, you're meant to add in a litre of water, 50 grams of white vinegar, and then you pop it back on the Thermomix to do the pre-clean mode. The pre-clean mode is a very clever mode. The blades move, they sense resistance in the bowl. So they will make sure that basically they're looking for any debris in the bowl, and they will know when your bowl is clean. So with the sugar stages, it can often take up to an hour for the pre-clean mode to work. So you fill in a litre of water, you put in your dash of vinegar, and you set that on pre-clean, and the Thermomix blades wait until they can turn freely before they do the full clean. What I've had to do instead, because I did leave it too long and it all hardened, I've actually got it in the sink soaking with vinegar at the moment, and within an hour it will be fine.
All right, Megan, where are you up to? Are we back to you?
I'm ready. So that did say to 1 minute on speed 9 with the aid of your spatula. So when we do sorbets and fruity dreams, you'll often see that same step, to have your spatula just to push the food back down. You can usually hear when you need to do that. On speed 9 though, there's a lot of little bits that are spitting up at you. So just be mindful to take your measuring cup on and off quickly and carefully, and don't get covered in cocktail like I nearly did. All right, so now we're just going to add, I'll give you a little look at that. So we've just kind of got a beautiful creamy lemon sorbet. And now we just add some vodka and some Prosecco. And our butterfly back in.
So Megan, is the egg white in there, or is that separate?
The egg white was in there. Yep, we cooked the egg white with the sugar. So we basically made like a Swiss meringue with that, like you would for your fruity dream. And vodka and our Prosecco.
And because you're doing manual cooking, if you were on Cookidoo, you could recipe scale that. So Megan's doing half the quantity, which I don't know about you guys, but if I'm ever doing half the quantity, I forget for some ingredients and not for others. And it always turns out to be a bit of a disaster. But I'll show you guys how to do some recipe scaling once the cooking's done.
Yeah. So I did mention to Claire that I would do that as a scaled recipe, but then remembered that it wasn't actually on Cookidoo, so I couldn't do that for you. Well, I could have typed it all up and put it on Recipe Community and then sent it over to Cookidoo, but that seems like a lot of work when it's coming to Cookidoo anyway. Okay, so this is going on for another minute on speed 4 with the butterfly whisk. And then it will be done. So we can go over to somebody else.
I think we're all done, aren't we, girls? Yep. Okay, so
Wait for me.
Just waiting for your cocktail. So do you want to tell us about the festive fix classes, Megan?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about a couple of things actually. Can you still hear me all right over there?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about first is our current offer. So at the moment, if you purchase a TM6, you can add on a second bowl, blade and lid set for just $29. So who here's got 2 bowls? Few hands from the ones that I can see. Awesome. Having a second bowl is just so handy. Whether you want to cook, maybe you've done your curry, you want to cook rice, or maybe you're halfway through a dish and you want to make almond meal from your whole almonds. Whether you want to grate your cheese, so many things that you might want to do that having a second bowl really makes that big difference for. So that's our fabulous offer at the moment. If you have friends or family members that you know of who are interested in a Thermomix, let them know that this is our most popular offer. It's available until the end of November, and they should look at hosting a demo with you soon to take advantage of that. What I would also like to talk to you about, though, is our festive fix cooking classes, our Christmas cooking classes that we have coming up in the next few weeks. So we actually have our class in Berry on this Saturday. Claire's going to post the links for you, but that's down at the Berry Anglican Church on Saturday afternoon. Then we have one the following weekend in Corrimal at the Community Centre on the 19th at 3 p.m. And then we have one in Canberra on the 13th of December. So lots of options for you to get along. We'll be demonstrating lots of dishes, teaching you lots of tips and tricks and things about how to get the most from your Thermomix during the whole festive season. So not just Christmas Day, but while you're entertaining, having friends around on Boxing Day and New Year's and all of those sorts of things. So yeah, inspiring you to try lots of new things and really be the hostess with the mostess. All right, enough talking. Let's see what this tastes like. I couldn't help myself. I pulled out the good glasses. So what's a cocktail if it's not in a nice glass? You can see it's, oh, hold it up a bit. Nice and creamy. And a little mint leaf for garnish. And I better just tell you what it tastes like.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's very nice. So it is apparently often served as either like a cocktail before dinner or sometimes as a dessert, an after dinner dessert cocktail, because it's sort of with the lemon sorbet in there, quite refreshing. So there you go. Add that to your Christmas cocktail list as well.
Thank you, Megan. Do you reckon that would be nice with no sugar in it?
You can't really taste the sugar that much.
So that would be okay then.
Yeah, I think it would.
Nice. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just show you guys a couple of things in Cookidoo. Feel free to type into the chat if there's anything that you do want to know, because Cookidoo is such an incredible platform for you to make the most from your Thermomix. If you're using Cookidoo really well, you're going to be using your Thermomix really well. So you'll see on the home page, we've got our magazine and we've got a collection. So you can click on that and it takes you through to the collection. A couple of the recipes we did today, so the French onion, the Persian honeycomb bark. And so this is just sort of an intro to what's in the book. There will be more coming. Has anyone tried any of these ones on Cookidoo yet? We all did the caramel peach brioche for our team meetings. And so that was lots of fun, you know, and that's one of the things that we get to do as consultants. When we meet together, we cook together and we learn new skills and teach each other new skills as well. So yeah, becoming a consultant is a great way to learn more. All right, so just a quick overview. You've got your search. I'm sure you guys are all across it, but using your filters is the best way to reduce overwhelm. I don't know if you've ever tried to just search through every single recipe. It is a little bit not mind-numbing. So I tend to like to search by star ratings for a start. I like to have 5-star ratings. And that basically means I rate recipes 5 stars when I love them. And if I don't love them, I don't rate them. And that's just my way of saying, well, potentially it's a personal preference, but if I think they're great, then they get a high star rating. And I also like to search by ingredients. So I generally, you know, purchase what I've got. So I'll type in an ingredient and it'll bring up my what I want. So the tip here is if you type chicken into the ingredients, you've got to select one of these. So let's just select this one. And that's the 5-star ratings with the chicken breast fillet, boneless, skinless. Now, if you typed into the search just the word chicken, you'll only get recipes that have chicken in the title of the recipe. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is your preferences. So particularly those of you, did we talk about the Cutter Host Reward? We didn't talk about that, did we?
No, not yet.
Okay, so for those who's wanted a cutter, I mean, we've got a lot of customers out there who want a cutter. They've been hard to come by, worldwide shortage, but we do have a little bit of stock still available. And so what we've done is we've offered it up as a host reward. Now, you can get a free cutter when a guest at your demo buys a Thermomix. So if you've got anyone out there who's been thinking about Thermomix, or even if they're just curious, they don't have to sort of be ready to buy, book a demo, have them come along and see what they think. And if they do decide to invest in a Thermomix, then you can get yourself a free cutter. And they obviously then start this incredible journey as a customer. So once you've got your cutter, you want to make sure you add it into your accessories. So there's a few different things. We've got a sensor coming, which is really exciting. We will have more information early next year for that one. If you've got the blade cover or blade cover peeler, you want to put them in there. I like to set my filters to English instead of having Australia or US. And that will then just select all of the recipes that are on Cookidoo in English. So make sure you get rid of your region and you put in your language. Obviously, if you speak other languages, put those in as well. So once you've got your profile set up, then it will make things a little bit easier for you. Meal planning. So this is obviously preparation for a few things. We've got a chocolate class in Canberra next week that's fully booked. And then we've got some things on the menu potentially for next month. Now, I don't do menu planning all of the time, but from time to time when I feel like cooking, I'll throw a few things in there. And I'll double up because I'm like, oh, I didn't have time to cook that. So you can see when I cook, I like to cook a lot at once. And then other times I sort of just wing it and do what I can find. I find the best way to set up your meal planning is organize your recipes. And so having created collections means you can name your collections. And I have my favorite breakfast, sides, breads, dinners, basics, snacks, and sweets. And so I might go in and I'll go, okay, these are my favorite dinners. What do I want to have this week? And I might be inspired. I know that this one, Lala's creamy lemon butter chicken, is one that my kids absolutely love. I haven't made it enough for them to get sick of it yet either. So I'll probably add that to my week. I might say, yep, next week I'm doing meal planning for next week. Let's cook that one on Tuesday. So I add that in. So fine, you've sort of got to know what recipes you like. It's very hard to meal plan if you're just trying to search through the whole wide web of Cookidoo. So you might do your dinners. You might then go, okay, you know, I want some school snacks or some bread. So this is my favorite bread collection, herb and garlic pull apart. We're going to do a cook along for that one. So I might, you know, practice that one, add that to my week for Sunday. Be great for the kids as well. This is a family favorite, spiced fruit loaf. So I'm going to add that in, and that's also going to be a Sunday dish. All right. Has anyone made the cinnamon buns? Because they're pretty popular in this house as well. So then you can come to your week. And so the key is knowing what recipes you like, but also knowing where to put them when you're going to be cooking. Oh, so I put them in on Saturday, not Sunday. So I'm just going to move that to Sunday. Oh, that's why, because it has the week starting then. Let's go here. So there we go. That's what I've got so far for next week. Clear my shopping list, and then I will go along and I'll add all of those to my shopping list. Now, a lot of the time I already have a lot of ingredients, so then I'll work through it and I'll tick them all off. So add to shopping list, and it's really easy to do from the weekly meal plan. And then I'll come here, have a look at my ingredients, and just tick them as I go. I also like to tick off by category, because generally I've got all of sort of the dry stuff, and so on. So then you do that, and obviously, does everyone know how to do ordering ingredients? So you simply click on order ingredients and it takes you through to, only does Woolworths online. Otherwise, if you just like to go to the shops, then you can do that. Okay, is there anything that you guys would like to know in particular from Cookidoo before we wrap up tonight. So just type your questions into the chat or anything that you would like to know.
I just wanted to mention that you can share the collections with your
Awesome.
family.
Yeah, and that's right. And you do have to your message in the chat, Oxy, you do have to do it via SMS. It has to be done through the app, not through, can't be done through desktop.
All right, okay.
So that's always good to know, because if someone sends it to you on your desktop and you try to open it on your website, it won't work.
That's something I like to do for my customers when they get their Thermomix delivered. I ask them a few questions about what they like to eat and what they like to cook, and I put together a collection and send them the link so that they've got some things to get started with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, was there anything else we wanted to cover off other than, if you would like to find out a little bit more about what we do as consultants, the commission structure, and what's involved, how to get started, please stick around. I will stop the recording and we'll just run through that together. Otherwise, you are welcome to go. Thank you for joining us. We'll send out the recording to everyone who's registered. So if you missed any of it, we'll have that ready for you. And thank you to our brilliant and amazing team here who's presented tonight. You guys are awesome, and we love hearing from you and seeing what you can make. Happy last back.